Hello, guys. Welcome back to Maths Zone African Motives. We are still on our revisions, and this is a question paper that I'm going to use for your March exams, the March test that you're going to have. And that was from the Limpopo province, all right? And it was written in March 2025 for our mathematics. So this was out of 75, all right? So 75 marks and duration that was 90 minutes according to what we are given. And make sure that you go through the instructions, all right? And also, if you need the copies of this question paper, you can download, just check the description of the video, or you can check in the comment section. I'm going to pin a comment where you can download this question paper and the memo. So let us quickly go through our questions, guys. Make sure that you go through the instructions, like I said. All right, so this was question number one. We had mixed questions here. The first part, it was to answer the following 1.11 given set. So this is the set that we are given of numbers, square root of 11 and so on. All right, in no particular order. So this is not in any order. Write down a two non-real numbers. All right, non-real numbers, those numbers that we cannot evaluate, we cannot simplify them, square root of negative values. Those are non-real, they do not exist. All right, so we had square root of a negative here, square root of negative 2, and also the square root of what? Negative 4. Those are non-real, they cannot be simplified. All right, then B, one irrational number. So irrational numbers cannot be written in the form of A over B, where A and B are integers. We cannot have it like that. All right, those are endless decimals, such as square root of 11. We cannot evaluate this one. It's an endless decimal, square root of 11. So that's an irrational number. All right, this is 0.23, guys. This is already, it's not written as 0.23 like this. There's a difference there. This one shows us that it's a repetition that is going to happen 0.2333 and so on. Or it's not written as 0.23, then there. No. It's just 0.23, like as it is like this. This is what we have, 0.2, as it is like that. That's a rational number. That one can be written as a fraction. Look, 0.23, all right, is equal to what? 23 over 100. It can be written as a fraction. So this one, it is not part of irrational numbers. So if you check your memo, there's just a mistake, because from the presentation, it is 0.23 like this. All right, this is what we have on our question. So that one is a rational number. Then we have got pi. This one, pi, is an irrational number. This one, it can not be simplified. This one, I mean, it can be simplified, but that's an endless decimal. This one, 3.1 and so on and so on. So the best answers were going to be square root of 11 and what? And pi. So any one of these, all right? Then on 1.12, determine without using a calculator two integers between which the square root of -7, this is minus, all right, minus square root of 7, sorry, lie. Use inequalities to answer the question, all right? So that's 1.12. The negative square root of 7 is greater than what, but less than what? We need two integers. So what you do is that, or take note, guys, you're dealing with a negative. Remember, let's say we've got minus 3 here. We do not count like going this side, say this is minus 4, minus 5. No. We take minus 4, negatives are going to be left side, minus 4, minus 5, and so on. The moment we go to the right side, the numbers becomes bigger. So we are having minus 2, something like that, minus 1, something like that. So meaning to say, as you are to compare the values, minus 3 is smaller than minus 2. The bigger the value in terms of a negative, the bigger the value, that's being small. That's being what? Small. Minus 3 is less than minus 2, meaning say minus 2 is greater than. Or the closer the number is to 0, that's how big the number is. So you must be careful, because as you consider the square root of 7, it is not a perfect square. To obtain integers, like here, you must have what? Square root of perfect squares. So we are going to look into perfect squares that surround this 7. Perfect squares surrounding 7. All right. So we have a number which is smaller than that, which is 4. And we also have a 9. These are the two perfect squares which surrounds what? 7. But now we must consider that we are carrying negative here. So the bigger the number, that's how small it is. So meaning to say, as we put a negative on this 9, 9 becomes a smaller value to the answer that you're going to have compared to 4. You must be careful, guys, because of that negative. So 9 is the one that you're going to put there. It's minus square root of 9 minus square root of 4. Take note about that. The moment you have a negative like that, because this is what you're going to have, negative square root of 7 is greater than what? Minus square root of 9. Square root of 9, that's 3. And this is minus square root of 4, which is what? Which is 2. Minus 2 is bigger than minus 3. Must be very careful about that one. Must be very, very careful about that. So in our case, we are saying minus 2 comma minus 2 comma 6 is just like this. All right, this is minus 2. Minus 2 comma 6 will be maybe somewhere here, minus 2 comma 6. This number minus 2 comma 6, we are saying it is greater than, it is bigger than what? Minus 3, which is true because it is closer to 0. And minus 2 comma 6 is less than minus 2, which is very true because it is what? Far away from 0 compared to minus 2. So when you're having a negative, just be careful on your interpretations. That can help you on your presentation from the way that you are interpreting the question. They understand that one very much. All right, 1.2, let us move on. Determine the product of these two brackets. So that one was just an issue of what? Expansion of brackets. Just expand the brackets that you're given. So remember that when given this condition, we can use the first bracket to multiply everything in the second bracket. So meaning to say, we can use x to multiply everything in the second bracket. X times x squared, that's to the exponent of 3. We add our exponents, 1 plus 2, which is 3. All right, x is going to multiply minus 3x. So that's minus 3x squared. Then x is going to multiply 4. That's positive 4x. All right, so x is to multiply each and every term in the second bracket. Then we are going to do this for positive 2 as well. Positive 2 times x squared, that will be 2x squared. Positive 2 times negative 3. So positive, negative, that's a negative. 2 times 3, that's 6x. and positive 2 times positive 4, that's going to be positive 8. Positive, positive, that's a positive. Then 2 times 4 is 8. So what you can do is to collect the like terms. In our case, we have got this part with x squared minus 3x squared. There is also 2x squared here. So those are like terms. So that's minus 3 plus 2, that's minus 1. So that's minus x squared, all right? Then we also have like terms, the part of x and x, same variable and exponent. So these are like terms. 4 minus 6, all right? So we have to consider this 4 minus 6, that is minus 2x plus what? 8. So 8, we do not have anything to add or to subtract on that one. It's just going to remain as 8, all right? So that was it. Determine the product. It was just like expand brackets and simplify. 1.3 factorize fully, all right? And we had 1.31, which is 4b squared minus 8b minus ab plus what? Plus 2a. These are 4 terms. So to factorize these, we can do this one by what? By grouping. Remember, in dealing with 4 terms, I told you guys, gonna apply by what? By grouping, where we can group our terms into 2 and factor out the highest common factor between these 2 terms and also between these 2 terms, so that the brackets that you're going to have will be the same. You must have same brackets. All right, so let's start with these 2 terms. Between 4 and 8, the highest common factor, that's 4. Between b squared and b, the highest common factor is b. All right, so this will be what? This will be our highest common factor. So let's divide 4b squared divided by 4b. That is going to give us b. All right, 4b squared over 4b. This is going to cancel and remain with b. Minus 8b divided by 4b, that's negative 2. All right, so what is important is that when you are to factor out for these last 2 terms, you must obtain the bracket same as this one. So you must be careful on the sign that you're going to use on your highest common factor. It's very true that the highest common factor here is a. That is the highest common factor between these 2 terms. But when we factor it out as positive a, b is going to remain with a negative, which is not what we want here. B is supposed to be positive. So in order for us to obtain a positive b, we must factor out a negative a, so that negative ab and negative a is going to give us what? It is going to give us a positive b. All right, then 2a and minus a, that's 2a over minus a. This is going to give us what? A negative 2, exactly what we want. So we must have 2 brackets that are exactly the same, b minus 2, b minus 2, so that we can factor out that common bracket of what? Of b minus 2. If we factor this one out, we are going to remain here with what? For b here minus a. So this is what you're going to have at the end. Any bracket can start. You can start with any bracket on your presentation. All right, any bracket can be used. All right, 1.32 still on our factorization. This one I have already said it before that do not be limited, guys, on this type of factorization to say use this method, so you also you can use that same method. No, don't be limited. So many ways that you can actually use or apply on your factorization of this type. 5v squared minus 12v plus 4. You just need to write the answers here if you know your answers, all right? But some of us, we might not know how to deal with that, and we choose to work out longer way, apply any way that you understand, all right? So I'm just going to use the cheat method. Under our factorization, I explained something about cheating this, where we want to make the coefficient of v squared a 1. So in order to do that, we are going to remove it and multiply to the constant. So it's going to be times 5 here. That's v squared. We have removed the 5, so it will be v squared. All right, minus 12v plus 5 times 4, that's a 20. So what you do is that you factorize this, all right? You factorize this because you are used to when the coefficient of v squared is what? Is 1. You're going to have v and v. Then you focus on the constant what? 20. Products of 20, which will give us negative 12, or the factors of what? Of 20. So 20, there are so many factors, guys, that will give us what? Positive 20 when you multiply. But to get a negative 12, let us quickly just work with these ones, negative 10 and negative 2. So these two, if you multiply truly, you are going to get a positive 20. But when you add, you will get a negative 12. So that's negative 10 and negative 2. Negative 10, negative 2. Remember that you removed the 5, you multiplied it there, so you must bring it back wherever there is v. In place of v, you must bring that 5 here, also here. And factorize again, where applicable in these brackets, you must what? Factorize what is common. 5 is common in the first bracket. That's our highest common factor. So we factor that. 5v divided by 5, that's v. Minus 10 divided by 5, that's minus 2. The second bracket, we do not have anything common, so it is just going to remain like that. And you get rid of this 5 that you factored out. It is not part of your solution. So meaning to say this whole part that we have here, it was going to give us v minus 2 into 5v minus 2. These are the two brackets that you're going to have. Like I said, guys, this one you can just write the answer direct. If you know that, please apply the way that you understand, all right? The way that you understand. Let us consider 1.4. It was to simplify this, all right? 1.4, x cubed minus 8 over 4 minus x squared times x plus 2 over 3x squared plus 6x plus 12. All right. We need to do some factorizations here, simplifications. All right. X cubed minus 8 cubed. This is a difference of 2 cubes. All right. A difference of what? 2 cubes. X cubed minus 2 cubed. So remember, a cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b into a squared plus ab plus b squared. That's how we factorize this one. So meaning to say, what we need is to properly see a and b. X cubed minus 2 cubed. This is our a and that's our b. So we have a and b. So factorizing this, it means you are going to obtain a minus b, that's a and b, x minus what? X minus 2, into a squared, that's our first term, which is what? X. So that's x squared, plus ab, that's the product of a and b, x times what? X times 2, which is 2x. So that's plus ab, which is what? 2x. Plus b squared, the last term, that's our b, 2 squared, which is what? Which is 4. Remember, guys, I told you about this factorization as an introduction. All right, everything over this. But as you can see, this here, the presentation, guys, all these terms, we are starting with x, 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 but this one we're starting with a constant. So let us rewrite starting with what? X, x, x. So it was going to be minus x squared plus 4. We haven't changed anything. All right, we haven't changed anything. But minus x squared, take note, this is minus, not a positive like these ones. Positive, positive, positive. Here our x the part of x squared is carrying a negative. So to make it a positive, you can factor out that negative. So it's going to be x squared. 4 divided by minus, that's a minus 4. So this here can be factorized. Remember, that's a difference of what? A difference of two squares. But having what? Our negative. Square root of x squared, that's x. Square root of 4, that's a 2. One subtracts, another one, it what? It adds the difference of two squares concept. Times x plus 2. There's nothing that we can do here. It's already in simplest form. Then we have got 3x squared plus 6x plus 12, where 3 is the highest common factor between these three terms. We can factor out 3. So that's 3x squared divided by 3, which is x squared. 6x divided by 3, that's 2x. 12 divided by 3, that's what? That's a 4, like this. Are we seeing that this bracket and this bracket are exactly the same? So it means this cannot be factorized. Do not struggle about that, trying to factorize. It cannot be factorized. But the advantage is that we are under a multiplication, so we can cancel the numerator to the denominator. The numerator to the denominator. The numerator to the denominator, as long it is the same thing that you're working with. So in the numerator, you're just going to remain with 1 over what? In the denominator, minus times what? Times 3. So minus times 3, that's minus 3. So this is the same as minus 1 over what? Over 3. We can rewrite our negative in the numerator, or just in line with this division. It's just in line with the division. All right, so not a problem at all. That was our 1.4. All right, issue of factorization. You see, guys, 6 marks for that. Question number 2, solve for x. 2.11, we are given x squared plus 2x, which is equal to 15. This is a quadratic equation. Just take the 15 to the other side. It's going to be a negative. So working with a quadratic equation, guys, we know our factorization concept. So lucky enough, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So you're just going to put x and x here. Then you just focus on the constant negative 15. What are the factors or products of what? Of negative 15, which adds up to negative 2. There are so many products, so many minus 15 and 1, 15 and minus 1. But of all these factors, which ones, guys, that will give us a positive 2? That's on 5 and negative 3. If you multiply these, you get a negative 15. But when you add, you are going to get a positive 2. So that's 5 and what? 5 and 3. 5 and minus 3, I mean. So since we have got two brackets equal to 0, it means one of these brackets must be what? Must be equal to 0. So x is going to be positive 5 to the other side. That's a negative 5. Or x is equal to negative 3 to the other side. That's a positive 3. So these are the solutions that we are going to have, the roots that we are going to have representing what? The values of x. All right, let us move on. 2.12. Again, it is to solve for x. 2.12, 3 to the exponent, 3 times 2 to the exponent of x is equal to 48. All right, what about this 3? Just a product, so get rid of that. Divide by what? By 3. So 2 to the exponent of x is equal to 48 divided by 3, which is 16. Remember, in the same base, if you are equating same bases, it means exponents will be exactly the same. So we must have the same base. 16 can be written in the base of 2. So that's 2 to the exponent of x, 16, 2 to the exponent of what? 4. Once the bases are the same like this, equate the exponents. So therefore, x is equal to what? X is equal to 4. So it was a matter of playing around with the question again. Like I said, mathematics, play around with your questions, guys. Understand every concept. All right. So for x and y simultaneously on question number 2.2. All right. I'm just going to use substitution method. I have got two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. I can make whatever that I want the subject here from equation 1, equation 2. So as for me, I was going to make x the subject, from equation 1. From equation 1, it means I'm just going to take 2y to the other side. So x is equal to 4 minus 2y. So this is going to be my equation 3. So since I made x the subject from equation 1, I'm going to substitute equation 3 into 2. Equation 3 into equation what? Equation 2. In place of x, we put this. So it is what? 3x. Our x is what? 4 minus 2y. All right. Plus y there is equal to 7. So I have an equation in y only. So it means I can simply solve for what? I can simply solve for y in this case. Expand brackets, collect your like terms, you are done. So this is it, guys. It's just a normal equation that you're dealing with. 3 times 4, that's 12, times minus 2, that's minus 6y, plus y is equal to 7. These are like terms. Are we seeing, guys? Here, y and y here. So that was going to be 12. Minus 6 plus 1, that's negative what? Negative 5y, which is equal to 7. So I can solve for y here by simply getting rid of this 12, which is affecting y. So how can I do that? Subtract 12, subtract 12. So that's minus 5y is equal to 7 minus 12. That's minus 5. A product divide. So dividing by minus 5, these two can cancel. And that's y is equal to what? A positive 1. So this is it. You can simply play around. With this value of y, you can find the value of x. Remember equation 3 here, we already made x the subject of the formula. So if y is equal to 1, then substitute here in place of what? In place of y. So x is going to be 4 minus 2 times 1. So that's 4 minus 2, which is what? Which is 2. So x is equal to 2 and y is equal to what? Y is equal to 1. This is the case of our equation. That is what we had. So you see, guys, it is just a matter of playing around. Do as many questions as you can. It's all about revision. All right. So for x and y on 2.3, and show, so for x and show your solution or your answer on the number line. All right. We are given that if 2 minus 6x is greater than minus 16, but less than or equal to what? 22. All right, we must solve and also represent on a number line. All right, remember we deal with the middle term, the middle expression or term, whatever that you'll be having there. So let's get rid of these 2. All right, take it to the other side, it's going to be minus 2. To the other side, is going to be minus 2. So we'll be left with minus 6x in the middle. All right, that's greater than minus 16 minus 2, that's minus 18. 22 minus 2, that's what? That's a 20. So to get the value of x, simply divide by what? Negative 6, negative 6. And take note, we are dividing by a negative, so the inequality signs are affected. So that was going to give us x. Here the inequality sign reverses, so it's going to be facing x this time. All right, minus 6 into minus 18, that's going to be a 3. All right, so this is going to give us 3. The sign here changes because you divided by a negative, so it's going to change. It will face the other side. 20 over minus 6. All right, we can even reduce this one. That's negative 10 over 3. Negative 10, negative 10 over what? Over 3. It's just one and the same presentation. So remember, guys, the inequalities are supposed to be facing this side. All right, x is greater than a but less than what? B, in that form, like facing that side. So let us have our x. All right, the smallest value, the smaller value is what? Minus 10 over 3. So as you can see, x is facing that. It is greater than or equal to what? Minus 10 over 3. 3 is pointing x, meaning to say x is what? Less than 3. The bigger value, x is less than. The inequalities must be facing that side, not the other way. So these are your solutions. This is your solution, that you're going to have. But they told us that we must also represent it on the number line. So on the number line, what we just need here are the critical values. The critical values, minus 10 over 3 and what? And positive 3. So there we have got greater than or equal to. So you shed the circle. Less than, you just put the circle, do not shed, and join, you're done. So these are the critical values represented. Yes, you can even indicate a 0, but critical values are the only ones that are important. All right. So that was it. That was it. You had to solve it in that manner. Let us move on. 2.4. A mother is at present, like, all right, the present age. So we have got the present age. The mother is 9 times the age of her daughter. All right, we are given the age of the mother in terms of the daughter. So we must have what? The daughter's age first. So let the daughter's age be x, so that we can have what? The mother's age. So therefore, the mother's age is going to be what? 9 times. It means 9 times that. So that's 9x. All right. Not 9 more than. If it is 9 more than, you add. More than, you add. But 9 times, you multiply that. That's a product. So this is the present age. Then in 3 years' time, after 3 years, so after, all right, the mother's age will be 5 times her daughter's age. Still, the mother's age, guys, is written in terms of what? Her daughter's age. So what is the daughter's age? Because it is written in terms of, we must have the daughter's age first in order to have the mother's age, just like the previous case. We must have the daughter's age so that we can know the mother's age. 9 times of what? We do not know. Here they're saying it's 5 times. 5 times of what? We do not know. So what is the daughter's age? 3 years later. It is easier because we just take this x and add 3. 3 years later is just like you are having 9 years. 3 years later, add 3. So if it is x, 3 years later, x plus 3. So this is the daughter's age 3 years later. All right? This is the daughter's age 3 years later. But you're told that the mother will be what? 5 times. So meaning to say the mother's age is going to be 5 times that. 5 into x plus 3. Just like here, 9 times. 9 times what? X. So here it's no longer x, but it is what? X plus 3. So it's 5 times x plus 3. So that's the mother's age 3 years what? 3 years later. So the question was, what are the present ages of the mother and her daughter? The present ages are x and 9x. So if we can find x, then multiply it by 9, we've got the mother's age. So we must solve for x. But how is it possible now for us to solve for x in this situation? What can we take advantage of? In order for you to solve for x, you must form an equation. An equation is a statement which is true. It's very true. So how can we form that here? We have the daughter's age present and after 3 years. Can this form an equation? Nothing. We cannot form anything here. All right. What about the mother's age? The mother's age, we are given it present as 9x. What about after 3 years? Because here we wrote this one in terms of what? Here we wrote it in terms of the daughter's age. In terms of what? The daughter's age. From what we are told that it is 5 times what? Yeah, daughter's 5 times. We did not find it in terms of our knowledge to say after 3 years, our proper knowledge is that your age is supposed to be 9x plus 3. After 3 years, we must add 3 years. Just like here, the daughter's age after 3 years is going to be x plus 3. What about the mother's age? No, we didn't write it that way. We took it from daughter's age because we were given it that in 3 years' time, the mother will be 5 times daughter's age. The statement was written in terms of your daughter's age. So what we can do, since we are still talking about the same person here, we are referring to the same person. So it means we can form an equation from the mother's age. From the mother's age. After what? After 3 years. So this is what we want. After 3 years, your age is supposed to be 9x plus 3. From what we are given to say present, your age is 9x. So after 3 years, we're going to add 3. So meaning to say 9x plus 3 is the same as this one that we wrote 3 years after the one that we wrote in terms of what? In terms of your daughter's age. It is supposed to give us the same answer because this is the same person that we're talking about. But here we have to count to say, all right, maybe it's 20. Then we count 21, 22, 23. But here we have to write in terms of the daughter's age. But they are representing the age of what? The same person, the mother's age. So these two here, they are true. Very, very true. Thus, we have formed an equation, a statement which is true for all values of x. So we can simply solve for x. All right, so let's solve for x. We need to expand brackets, distribute and collect like terms if they are like terms. 9x plus 3 is equal to 5 times x. That's 5x. 5 times 3, that's positive 15. So you're going to take 5x to the other side. That will be 9x minus 5x, which is what? 4x. 9 minus 5, that's 4x, is equal to 3 to the other side. That is going to be a negative there. So you're going to subtract 3. 15 minus 3, which is going to give us what? Which is going to give us a 12. Divide by 4 by 4, since we have a product. So this is going to give us what? X is equal to 3. So this is the value of x. Remember, x represents what? In the present age, it is the daughter's age. So meaning to say, thus we have got the daughter's age in our case. In the present, 3 years, the value of x that we obtained, 3 years. So if x is equal to 3, what about the mother's age presently? Yeah, age is what? 9x. So meaning to say the mother's age is going to be 9 times x. X represents the daughter's age. So that's 9 times 3, which is what? 27 years old. So meaning to say presently the daughter is 3 years and the mother is what? 27 years old. That is the condition that you're given there. All right, so so many ways of answering this. You can interpret it in your understanding. These are word problems, so you interpret them in the way that you understand. There are so many ways, but I just chose like a universal understanding that almost all of us can understand. But if you do not understand, choose another way, then see if you're going to have same answers at the end. On another part of the question, that was question number 3, where we are given the diagram below with point P, 4, 3 is given, and theta is greater than 90 but less than greater than 0, sorry, but less than 90. That's an acute angle. That is why it is found in the first quadrant. So that is it. Remember OP, we have got the x and y there. That's x horizontally, it's 4. Y vertically, it's what is 3. That is what it means. So answer the following questions without the use of a calculator. Without. All right. The first one, it is what? 3.1, the length of OP. So OP represents the hypotenuse. This is our OP. So that's 3.1 OP. That's our R, the hypotenuse, which is the square root of x squared plus y squared. So that's OP is the square root of the x value. That's 4 squared plus the y, 3 squared. All right, so that was going to give us the length of OP, the square root of 16 plus 9. 4 squared, that's 16. 3 squared, that's 9. And if we add, we're going to get 25. And the square root of 25 is what? It is 5. So that's the length of OP, 5 units. All right, so this is it here. OP. So that was 3.1, a little bit direct. Then let us move on to 3.2. Calculate the value of these. All right, 3.21, the sine of theta. All right, so 3.21, that's the sine of theta. Remember from our soccer tour concept, sine is opposite over what? Adjacent. Opposite over hypotenuse, sorry. So according to theta, this is our theta. That's the opposite side is what? Is 3. This is the adjacent, theta and 90. They are adjacent to each other. Then the hypotenuse is what? Is 5. So opposite is what? That's 3 over the hypotenuse, which is what? Which is 5. So this was going to give us 3 over what? 3 over 5. That's 3.21. Let us move on to 3.22, the cos of theta. All right, the cos of theta on 3.22 is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's adjacent is 4 and hypotenuse is what? Is 5. Just like that. 4 over 5, you're done. All right, then let us move on to the other question, 3.3.23. Sine squared of theta plus cos squared of theta. Guys, this is just a continuation. Remember, we determined the sine of theta here. We said is what? 3 over 5. Now they're saying square that. 3 over 5, square it. That's sine squared. Plus cos squared. Square it, the cos that you see. 4 over 5, square it. So that's it. 3 squared, that's 9. 5 squared, that's 25. Plus 4 squared, that's 16. 5 squared, that's 25. So as we are working with the same denominators, we can easily add the numerators together, guys. So it's going to be 9 plus 16 over 25, which is 25 over 25. And that's what? That's a 1. So the whole of this part is going to give us a 1. All right. So that is how questions can be given as. It is all about revision. You just need to play around the questions, understand the basic information that you are given. All right. So I'm going to see on this part, understand every basic. So if you look into this question properly, 4.1, you're being asked to use a calculator to find the values of the following, correct to 3 decimal places. All right. So I'm just going to put my calculator to 3 decimal place. Shift, go to setup, press 6 and press 3. All right. So let us see. Have the first one, 3 sine 138. Just use your calculator direct. 3 sine 138. Close the bracket. That's 2.007. 2,007. All right. The sec of 50. Remember, sec, it's 1 over cos. So it's 1 over cos 50 degrees. So that's going to be 1 over what? Cos 50 degrees, which is 1,556. 1,556 to 3 decimal places as you are told here. Then this one, it was a mistake, guys. I do not know what was supposed to be written here. Is it sine? Is it cos? Because it's an angle, this one. Just like this, we must have a trig, like sine, tan. So here we do not know what was the trig. So I'm just going to leave this one. But guys, just use your calculator direct. This one was just an error. 4.2, determine without the use of a calculator. Once we've got these, guys, work with what? Your special angles. Do we have 45? Yes, 45 is there. So we're going to need 45. That triangle, guys, I told you, this is 1, 1, square root of 2. Then we also have the second triangle that has got 60 degrees, 30 degrees, 1, 2, square root of 3. Remember these triangles, all right? So 4.21, cos 30. Cos 30 is here. That's cos adjacent over hypotenuse. According to 30, this is adjacent. This is hypotenuse. So cos 30 is square root of 3 over what? Square root of 3 over 2 plus the tan of 30. Tan 30, SOHCAHTOA, opposite over adjacent. All right. Sorry. Tan 60, sorry, 60. So according to 60, this is opposite and this is adjacent. So that's square root of 3 over 1. All right. So here, guys, we can simply add, as we can see, that is under our sets, 1 over 2 plus 1. That's 1.5, which is 3 over 2. So we can write this one as 3 over 2 square root of 3, or 3 square root of 3 over 2. Just add those two. You can simply add half plus 1, that is 3 over 2. All right, so that is what you're going to have at the end. Then 4.22. Remember, sine 45 and cos 45, they are equal, all right? Sine 45 is opposite over hypotenuse, 1 over square root of 2. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, same thing, 1 over square root of 2. All right, minus 5. Cosec 90, cosec means 1 over sine. Sine 90 degrees. Remember, this is a special angle. Sine 90 is equal to 1. So it was going to be 1 over 1 plus 3 tan squared, 3 times the tan 30. Tan 30, remember, opposite over what? Opposite over adjacent. So that's 1 over square root of 3 squared. All right, there's a squared there. So let us simplify this and see these two are the same. They can cancel. That's a 1. Minus 5 times 1, that's minus 5 plus, if we square this one, it was going to be 3 times 1 squared, that's 1 over square root of 3 squared means square root of 3 squared. It neutralizes and gives us what? A 3. All right, so this can cancel and we have a 1 at the end. All right, so it's going to give us a 1 at the end, meaning to say 1 plus 1, that's a 2. So it's 2 minus 5, which is what? Negative 3. Okay, just like that. Just like that, 5 marks. So without using a calculator, they want you to use those. But even if you use a calculator, guys, I told you no one is going to know that you have used a calculator there. All right, determine the value of theta on 4.3. By using a calculator, use a calculator this time. Theta is to be taken between 0 and 90 degrees. The first one is tan theta equal to 4,96. So to get the angle theta, you're going to take tan to the other side. So it will be arctan like this of what? 4,96. So theta is equal to arctan of that. It's simply shift, all right? So here we are not told about the degree of accuracy. Is it 3 decimal place? Is it 2 decimal place? We go back to the instruction that we're given on those instructions from the question paper. They said 2 decimal places. So we must fix back our calculator to 2 decimal places. So arctan of 4,96 is going to be 78,60. 78,60 degrees. All right. Then 4.32, we have 4.32, 2 sine 2 theta minus 10 degrees is equal to 1. So we need the sine of the angle, So we must get rid of these 2, which is multiplying. So divide by that 2. This was going to cancel. So sine 2 theta minus 10 is equal to 1 over 2. So to get the angle, this one, 2 theta minus 10, it is equal to arc sine. You write it as what? Arc sine of 1 over 2. So that's 2 theta minus 10 degrees is equal to what? Arc sine of 1 over 2. That's shift, you press sine, 1 over 2. This was going to give us what? 30 degrees, all right? That was 30 degrees. So to get theta, add 10 degrees, you're going to remove this. So 2 theta is equal to what? 40 degrees. 30 plus 10, that's 40. So to determine theta, guys, divide by what? By 2 by 2. So theta is equal to what? 20 degrees at the end. So this is our angle that we want. All right, just like that, we have to solve for theta within that given interval. All right, question number 5, which is the last part of our question paper. You were given that in the diagram below, angle B is 22 degrees. This is our angle B, 22 degrees. BD is 10 centimeters from B to D. That's 10 centimeters. And there's a 90 degree here. There is also a 90 degree at C, meaning to say D is also 90 degrees. Remember, angles on a straight line is supposed to give us what? 180 degrees, I mean. So 90 plus 90, that's 180. So 5.1, state 2 ratios, trigonometric ratios, representing what? Sine of angle A. So sine of angle A. All right. Angle A is found in this bigger triangle ABC. So from triangle ABC, according to A, the opposite is going to be side BC. That's opposite. The hypotenuse is what? Is AB, the wall of that AB. All right, so that's our sine. Remember, sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse from our SOHCAHTOA concept. So the opposite of A is BC over the hypotenuse, which is what? Which is AB. We took from the outer triangle ABC, the whole of that triangle ABC. So this is the first trig ratio that you're going to have from that. Or it can be, because they said 2 of them, so this is the first one. Another one, we can take it where angle A is. Angle A is also found in this right angle triangle ADC. So we can take it from triangle ADC. In a triangle ADC, our opposite is what? Is DC. This is our opposite. Our hypotenuse facing 90 degrees is what? Is AC. That's our hypotenuse. So the sine of angle A opposite over hypotenuse, opposite is what? DC or CD over hypotenuse, which is what? Which is AC. So that was going to give us CD over AC or DC over AC. You're done. That's your 5.1. Guys, they just want a ratio there from a right angled what? Triangle. 5.2, show that DC is equal to this. Simply calculate it. DC, this is our side DC. So we can calculate this from this triangle here, triangle BCD. Since we have got the length BD, so we can play around that one to find DC using what? Triangle BCD. BCD. In that triangle, according to angle 22 degrees, DC, the one that we want to calculate here, is the opposite. It faces the angle of 22 degrees. So we have the opposite. And what we are given, BD, is the adjacent. Take note, BC is the hypotenuse facing 90 degrees. So which ratio has opposite and adjacent at the same time from our SOHCAHTOA concept? That's the tan, opposite and adjacent. So it means the tan of the angle that we took this one from 22 degrees is equal to the opposite. What is our opposite? DC over the adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. What is our adjacent? BD, which is 10 centimeters. So we can find DC, guys. Simply what? Cross multiply. 1 times DC, that's DC. 10 times what? 10 times the tan of 22 degrees. So this is going to give us DC. 10 times the tan of 22 degrees to 2 decimal places. That's 4,04 centimeters. Exactly what we are given here. So we could have just used tan to answer that. All right. Write down the size of sine DCA. DCA. Guys, we do not have anything here except for this CD that we just have, which is 4,04. How can we determine the sine of this angle DCA, this one here? It is impossible without having any other side. We could have used opposite over hypotenuse, but we do not have opposite, we do not have hypotenuse. So what can we do? Can we determine the numerical value of this angle? Is it possible? All right. Let's try that one. To find first the angle DCA, this angle DCA. All right. How is that possible? All right. Are we seeing that in a triangle ABC, it is right angled at C? So it means angle A is simply 90 degrees minus 22. Remember, angle A and B must give us what? 90 degrees. They are complementary angles since already there is this 90 degrees here. So that's 90 minus 22, or simply 180 degrees minus 90 plus 22. So that was going to give us 68 degrees. That's angle A here. It's 68 degrees. So meaning to say, angle DCA can be calculated as ADC is a right angled triangle. So you can still use the same concept. This angle is 90 degrees at D. So meaning to say angle A and angle C, they must give us what? The remaining 90 degrees. So we can simply subtract 90 minus what? 68, which is going to give us 22 degrees. So the angle here at C, DCA, is what? 22 degrees. So if that angle is 22 degrees, therefore we can determine the sine of that angle, because we are simply saying the sine of angle DCA is equal to sine of what? DCA represents 22 degrees. So meaning to say we are going to need the sine of 22 degrees, which is what? 0,37. So that's 0,37, just like that. All right. So that's our 5.3. All right, just like that. So let us move on to another one. 5.4. We are now asked to calculate the length of AC. All right, this is AC here. So to calculate the length of AC, guys, you can do that, all right? Since in triangle 5.4, to find the length of AC, I want you to use that right angle triangle that we just used now, ACD. In that triangle, right angle triangle ACD, you can use any of these two angles. Remember, you calculated CD, you know the length of what? DC. So you can use any of these angles, either 22 degrees or 68. Any one of these, you must obtain the same answer. So let's say I want to use this 22 degrees. It means according to 22 degrees in this triangle, this here, what we are given, 4,04, which is CD, it is our adjacent. We have adjacent. And AC, the one that we want to calculate, this is our AC. It is the hypotenuse facing what? 90 degrees. That's our hypotenuse. Which ratio, guys, uses adjacent and hypotenuse at the same time? Adjacent and hypotenuse, that's cos. So meaning to say the cos of the angle 22 degrees is equal to what? Adjacent. What is our adjacent? 4,04 over the hypotenuse, which is AC, the one that we want to calculate. So we can calculate that one. All right, cross multiply. That's going to be AC cos 22 degrees is equal to 1 times this, that's 4,04. So to find AC, simply divide by what? Cos 22 degrees. Cos 22 degrees. So this was going to cancel. You remain with what? AC. So our AC is equal to this. That's 4,04 over what? The cos of 22 degrees like this. That was going to give us 4,36. So that's in what? In centimeters, all right? You can use the angle of what? 68 degrees that we had, but according to angle of 68, this is no longer adjacent. This hypotenuse still remains, all right? So let's use another way and see that it was just going to be one and the same. So using, that's another way, using 68 degrees. According to 68 degrees, DC is now opposite. It is facing that 68. So it is the opposite. And AC is what? Hypotenuse. So which ratio is opposite and hypotenuse? That's our sign, SOHCAHTOA. So it means the sine of the angle that we took it from, 68, is equal to the opposite. What is our opposite? DC, 4,04, over the hypotenuse, which is AC, the one that we are asked you to calculate. So still, guys, you are going to have the same answer. That's another way. So AC times the sine, that's AC sine of 68 degrees equal to 1 times this, that's 4.04. So divide by the sine of 68 degrees over the sine of 68 degrees. This was going to cancel. And you have got what? You have got your AC. So that is how you can play around with these questions, guys. 4.04 over what? The sine of 68 degrees like this. That was going to give us 4,36. All right, so this is 4,36 centimeters. The same answer that we obtained when we used that ratio of a cos. So you see, guys, mathematics, you can answer this in different ways, that you can apply. So guys, you must just revise as much as you can. So this is what we had. Let's do more revisions that can help us to prepare for the exams, the tests, any activity that you have in class. Do more revisions. So that's it, guys, till we meet again.